Goodbye, Thomas, my old friend. Told him to work from home again, because his voice is so distracting. On others' work it is impacting. All this shouting, it is causing untold strain. Staff complained, enjoy the sound of silence. We've got reports that 2 WWE stars have been injured, an update on the WWE status of Cain Velasquez, and a big return is scheduled for SmackDown tonight. We'll get there in a bit. So before we start, that song was a joke, by the way. Yeah. Tom is poorly today. Yeah. We wish him all the very best, and we hope he gets well soon. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be back in on Monday, or he'll be fired. So two injury reports, including a top WWE Raw star. Let's start off with the big one, shall we? Literally, he's big. He's always getting injured. Unfortunately, it's Samoa Joe again. Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet reporting that the Samoan submission machine has suffered his 5th injury in 3 years. And he didn't even do it wrestling. Apparently, they're filming a commercial, a WWE commercial. Doesn't say.
Because I'd heard about this. As I was leaving the office last night, and it was like during a commercial. I was like, for what?
Yeah, it wasn't in the ring.
Mix or Snickers ones?
There was a table there.
Oh no.
Maybe he's the new Slim Jim guy. He'd be a good Slim Jim guy.
Great.
Apparently, he hit his head at a table during the commercial shoot, and he's no longer cleared to wrestle. It's noted here the extent of the injury is yet to be confirmed, but Satin noted that Joe could be out for a considerable amount of time. This is disastrous.
Yeah.
The worry here is that Joe seems to be so injury prone that WWE, any planned push for him may not happen. Like, Vince is the kind of guy, it's just like, oh man, if somebody's injury prone,
skittish. Yeah. And it's sort of, they've already put him on commentary for a little bit, and it's like, as great as he was, that's not really what I want to see out of Samoa Joe in these years. I want to see prime Joe, like the last of the great matches that Joe is still yet to have.
Yeah,
so,
it's really worrying, isn't it? I want to see the guy hold a world title in WWE. I really, really do. And every time that Joe seems to be rising up the card, either an injury happens or WWE sort of get cold on him, and they'll do something foolish to him to make him look really weak.
Yeah.
And like I remember back, he was the first eliminated, wasn't he? And it was a Survivor Series match. It's a little while ago now. I was just like, oh come on, do something proper with Samoa Joe. But at the same time, like he does seem injury prone. That's a lot. 5 injuries in 3 years.
It's just bad luck though. If it's just a complete accident on a commercial set, it's just bad luck. It's such a shame.
You got to feel for the guy.
Yeah.
And you know, when he's saying he could be out for a considerable amount of time, it makes me wonder what's happened
what does it
to him.
mean? Yeah, what's happened
his
to
head
him?
on a table.
Yeah, like is it? It's. I really hope it's not serious. Like I really hope it's not serious.
Same here. The other name is Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate was due to appear at OTT in Ireland, but the promotion tweeted, due to recent injury, Tyler Bate will no longer appear at Dead On. This is unavoidable in wrestling. Apologies to the OTT audience. There's been no specific report on the nature of the injury. PW Insider reporting that the news has sort of made the rounds over the last week or so, and then that tweet came out from OTT. There's no timetable for an in-ring return for Tyler Bate. Another guy with a really bright future ahead of him. Yeah, I don't think he has to worry so much.
I think we always forget how young Tyler Bate is.
What is he at now? Like 97, right? Tyler Driver 97.
Yes.
So he's 23.
Like 23.
23,
it's disgusting.
Disgusting. And he's been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
And he's achieved so much.
It feels like he's been around for an eternity, but he's 23.
It's 23 years old.
Oh.
What were you doing when you were 23, Sam? Wrestling, obviously.
Yeah, well, in my back garden on my trampoline.
Being the first UK champion.
Yeah, of my garden.
So we can only send our best to Samoa Joe and Tyler Bate, but especially Samoa Joe. I want to see Samoa Joe back. Yeah. No offense to Tyler, but come on, Joe, sort it out and stop pissing about with tables, all right? Next up, we have an update on the WWE status of Cain Velasquez. Let's get excited for this.
Well, big money on the table here. Big money. And, Cain Velasquez, it was quite exciting to see him come in. We know he can do a lot more than he has done so far.
Yeah,
in WWE.
he can do the lucha things, that's for sure.
And he's, it was the injury and everything that sort of ground him to a quick halt. So, Adam, give me some good news.
Wrestling Inc. Has confirmed that Velasquez is currently, right now, at the WWE Performance Center, getting in reps as he prepares for his next match. Now, we don't know what that match is, but he's expected to be at the WWE Performance Center for the next 2 weeks. So expect him to return, I would assume, sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Will it be before WrestleMania? I would suggest no.
I don't know.
Everybody's got matches.
Well, if you think about it, think of what's happened on the stock market. You need as many big names there as possible from as many sports and as many different areas. Just
get Cyndi Lauper back in. Come on, save us, Cyndi.
Gronk will be there again, I imagine. Just throw them all in.
Yeah?
Throw them all
a
in.
battle royal?
Yeah. The
crossover battle royal.
Yeah, there you go.
Who else would you put in there? Dave Benson Phillips is a dead cert, obviously. That's Samson.
That's Samson. What's he done with wrestling? When you say crossover, are you just picking any celebrity?
Yeah, just people that you'd like to see.
Richard from Richard and Judy.
Richard Madeley.
I'd like to see him get
the Alan Partridge of our generation.
Yeah. Get him border toss just straight over the top.
Let us know in the comments who you want to see in there. I want to be in that match.
Oh, AJ Hazard.
We've got over 500,000 subs. We're going to bring those wrestling eyes to the wrestling product. You're welcome, Vince. Where do you want to see Cain Velasquez moving forward?
Well, this is the thing. It's a very hard person to plan for because obviously they built up the whole thing with Brock. Is he going to eventually take the belt from Brock? It will still feel too soon if he does it straight away.
I think we'll get Brock versus Cain Velasquez again. Even though Cain has no real sort of stake for it. Like he got battered in Saudi Arabia.
Those punches were clean though. And the way that you said it as well, getting in reps, it just sounds like he's at the performance center getting in reps, like he's waiting for somebody to stop using the machine, quickly bangs 2 out, and then somebody else comes along that's bigger and just goes, "Nah, mate, come on."
Who's bigger? Have you seen the size of this
sat
chap?
there on the edge, just like, really need to use that machine.
And finally, a big return set for SmackDown tonight. Well, in fact, there's a few returns. We'll get to those in a bit. But the one that we want to talk about right now is Sasha Banks. PW Insider reporting that she's due to be there tonight. She's been out injured with what was believed.
No, she hasn't. She's been off recording her album in LA.
What?
Right. That's what Bailey said.
Oh, right.
That's what Bailey said.
Sorry, yeah.
That's the story.
Yeah,
She's
sorry.
been off recording her album in LA. That's why she doesn't need to be here.
But she's got a poorly ankle, which isn't affecting her rap voice.
No.
Rap voice!
A rap voice.
Speaking of Richard Madeley and Alan Partridge, Jesus Christ, this is the first time she's going to be back on the road with the company for several weeks. What do you think she's going to be doing tonight? I think there's an obvious one here.
I think she's going to be backing up Bailey massively. Obviously, there's probably, maybe some interaction with the following announcements. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah. I think so. So, also on tonight's SmackDown, Goldberg returning to SmackDown ahead of the Universal title match
probably on
at
camera
Super
again.
Showdown.
It better not be on camera.
You reckon it's going to be a satellite thing?
I hated it. It's cool because it's sort of like you get that with sports. If you're watching a game, sometimes at halftime they'll go to somebody who's in a studio somewhere, or they'll cut to somebody for their opinion. But in wrestling, it sort of works. But when you're going Goldberg's returning to SmackDown and he's on a screen, and
it's always really underwhelming.
This might be what happens with Cena when Cena comes back.
No.
I don't know because they said for both Hogan and Goldberg they'll be appearing on SmackDown.
Different kettle
They never
of fish.
said in person.
Yeah, all right. I think that's probably what will happen with Goldberg tonight, but we'll see. It's just a bit underwhelming for the live crowd, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I think it was. I said it and graded. I was shocked, really, really shocked by it because they made this big deal about Goldberg being on SmackDown, and it sold really well. The house was pretty full, and then they just go to the Tron, and it was like, okay, you've just
doesn't seem fair.
You've just carnied these people out of money.
The Bella Twins, another return. They're going to be on a moment of bliss, likely setting up for the Hall of Fame induction.
Yes.
But I think that's what's probably going to be announced tonight. We have got Naomi versus Carmella, and the winner goes on to challenge Bailey at Super Showdown for the SmackDown Women's title. Who have you got there?
I think it's going to be Naomi, but I'd prefer for them to hold Naomi off until Mania.
That's what they'll do. That's the Mania match, so they're going to give it to Carmella now. Carmella gets beat at Super Showdown.
I think part of me worries that they're going to give it to Naomi because Carmella sort of has looked real strong like at the expense of Naomi. So I'm really sort of in two minds, but I'd really prefer it to be Carmella now and then Naomi at Mania.
Yeah, I think that's a sensible thing. I'd really like to see Bayley versus Naomi at WrestleMania, and I know there's probably a lot more people who would like to see Sasha versus Bayley, but Naomi deserves that big WrestleMania spot.
It was the way that Naomi returned to SmackDown as well, was when Bayley was running her mouth about everything, and then I'm sure Bayley was running her mouth, and she was like, well, you never beat me. And it was like, it's setting up to that big match feel, so.
We got the New Day and the Usos colliding with The Miz, John Morrison, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode 8-man tag match. Just a match,
as we've had the last 6 weeks, but yep.
It's just slightly different.
It'll be good though. The thing that I've been saying is like they
some of the best tag teams in the world right there.
Yeah,
and also Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode.
No matter how much you see these guys go at it, there's always at least one novel spot in the match where it's like, oh wow, like they're still busting it out.
Yep.
Like something fresh every time.
And finally, Lacey Evans going to sit down with Renee Young for an exclusive interview tonight.
Who's going to cut that off?
Who's going to cut that off?
Oh, that'll be Sasha.
Sasha, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Because if Bayley's going to get tied up with either Naomi or Carmella.
I think the last time we saw Sasha, or one of the last times as well, Lacey went to Women's Writer, but pulled it. She just sort of did it to fake her out, and Sasha screamed and hit the floor like she was terrified.
Nice. And I think those two, if it's going to be Sasha and Lacey doing something there, I mean, Sasha might come out and help.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I think that's probably where we'll see her. But I think Lacey and Sasha will probably be the last two women in the ring at the Battle Royal at WrestleMania. It feels weird to say that Sasha Banks isn't going to have a big Mania thing. I think she's going to win the Battle Royal.
But what if Renee tries to get in the middle and she attacks Renee? Ultimately.
I thought we got away with one video where
legit.
I thought you meant Renee attacks one of them.
What if Sasha, if Renee gets in the middle and Sasha attacks Renee, and then that's whoa, what the hell? I think that builds major heat for Sasha.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Look at this, he's booked it again, and it wasn't even silly. Well done. We'll be back with another news video very, very soon.
Optimus Prime for that Battle Royal we were talking about. For Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Okay.
Godzilla.
See ya.
Power Ranger, the red one.
Just the red one.
Green one was cooler.
No, it wasn't. What are you on about?
Green was
Right, we're going to turn the camera off and we're going to talk about this properly. So, see you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.